Hi, if you're new here, I'm Kaniti, and if you're already watching my One Piece chill channel, welcome back. Today we are going to read the newest chapter of One Piece, number 1149. So, of course, spoiler alert if you're not up to date with manga, but let's see what this chapter has. Let's go. Alright, we have a cute cover for Jump. It looks so tiny. I don't know, maybe because the car is taking all of the space. Okay, that is cute. Wait, there's something even way cuter. What the heck? This colored spread is so pretty. This might be already one of my favorites. But I don't know, because I like going to cafes and it's just like, seeing everyone in this chill environment. And it's like most of the straw hats. Yeah, not all of them. I don't see Jinbei, for example, anywhere, and I don't see Brook. But we have Bonnie and Lilith here, which I think this cat, I think, is looking at the price, so they already have to pay, and the cat is like, I get the cat is paying for everything. Oh, but it all looks so good. What does it say? My gold mine. Oh my god, that is so cute. And I'm not sure what is this. Maybe these are hieroglyphs. Robin looks adorable too. Okay, I can gush about this all the time. And it's also a maid cafe, which, I don't know, makes it even cuter. I only know about maid cafes from some kind of media like manga, for example. And as a concept, I think it sounds really cute. Okay, let's move on with the chapter. We have Oda Sensei's note. I rented a garden and threw a party with the anime stuff. Oh, that's so exciting. It's a warm, cozy space. Okay, that sounds really fun. But now we are getting into the chapter, so things are getting serious. The chapter is called 1 Second. Ooh. And Gyaban comes in to save us from Summers. All the Straw Hats are shocked, like, what? Who is that? The Pirate King's left hand emerges from nowhere. Yeah, that was a cool entrance. And Summers is actually crying out in pain. He is actually hurt. Why did that work? Usopp is shocked. What did you do? I'm rusty, Gyaban mutters. And then he spins his ox and goes in again, while Summers protects himself with Briar Barrier, so the attack, again using Haki, does not go through. I think it doesn't even cut these thorns at all. Huff. Mountain Eater, why are you in Elbaf? Summers asks, I think, maybe scared? Nothing wrong with a serious talk, right? Huh? Wait, what? Did I miss some kind of page? What he's talking about? You met him at the castle? Yeah, Luffy and Zoro were totally overwhelmed, but maybe these are like Straw Hats are talking in the background while they're fighting, and Usopp is like, you met him already. I was just confused why Gyaban is talking about nothing wrong with the serious talk. Where is the serious talk, and how does that answer Summer's question? Maybe the translation is weird. Anyways, yeah, Luffy and Zoro were totally overwhelmed by him. He is the father of Colin, the kid we met at the school. That old guy! Unless I misheard, he said he's Copper Gaban. Oh no, it must be a different translation, because now we know he's Scopper Gyaban. Whoa, he's equal to Rayleigh. He's the left hand of the Pirate King. I know, left hand sounds even cooler in my head than the right hand. The left is always more enticing than the right. That sort of person is in the land of giants. Okay, so Straw Hats are there talking between themselves, and Robin is still inside the thorns. The attacks are really having an impact. Chopper notices. How come? I can't budge, but I can use my powers to assist you, Robin is saying. Yeah. Stop it, Robin. His iron thorns are a terrible matchup for your hand-to-hand combat style. Yeah, that makes sense. Wait, what the heck? What is... Okay, this is a double page, and my eye immediately goes to what is happening on the left, and I'm like, wait, we are not there yet. Thorn Rush and Hell of the Crimson Lotus. Summer's attacks are named very beautifully. There isn't even a square inch for you to stand on, he says. I'm in a hurry, you know. Yaban answers, jumping up, going in for the attack, and Summers is like, calm. And we got this panel. The move is called Futenraku. This may be a play on words of Etenraku, referring to a music composition for Japanese nobles. Okay. A move for killing nobles. Well, it's just a speculation, I think, on the translator part. What must this mean? Futenraku. But holy shit, definitely going in for this attack with the haki, with the strong haki. He manages to basically, it's not, he didn't even behead Summers. I think the way he caught him, like right there, makes it look even cooler and even maybe more gory. I'm not sure. Can he regenerate after this? Or I don't think he would die that easily, right? But at the same time, he couldn't regenerate that easily the wounds that were given to him by Gyaban. Oops, that was close. And Gyaban helps himself with the axe to get away from the thorns on the ground. Wait up, Cologne! Oh, he's running to save his son. That's sweet. And Straw Hats are like, what? He took him out! So what I think, like, in One Piece, it's really hard to kill a person. So I'm not saying right away, oh, Summers is dead, especially since he does have regenerative powers. Maybe it will be harder to regenerate after this kind of attack, after Yaban's attack, but yeah, there's still a huge chance that Summers, most likely, Summers is going to survive. And Yaban just incapacitated him for a while so he can go and save his son. He doesn't have time to deal with this. He took him out, and we can see Straw Hats are still here, binded, while Gyaban is running to save his son, and Summers is falling on his own thorns. I think this is the sound. Thush, thush, thush. Chopper seems to be running maybe after Gyaban too, or to... no, not to untie his friends, but after Gyaban it seems. Chopper, where are you going? Ouch, it hurts, so he's going right over the thorns. You could go a bit to the left or a bit to the right, dude. I can see on the frame. The thorns are only in this area. You can go around them. How was he able to cut someone who is immortal? This could be critical information, Chopper is thinking. The way they're all so dumbfounded by what has happened makes me think it's not just haki, it has to be like something more. Anyways, we go back to where the school is, I think. Or to the branch. Here are some kids sleeping. Are these the same kids or are this another bunch of kids? Because either they decided, okay, since you accepted to burn like the library and everything, then we just make the other kids fall asleep for now. I can't really tell. All right, well done. This should be good. Quillingam is saying while Angie is crying, and I think there's fire spreading here already. I understand you did all you can. That's enough. As for over there, I'll deal with that. The Quillingam is like, it's okay. Your fire starting abilities are not really impressing me very much, but I understand. You did everything you could. I will finish this for you and create more fire. Which makes me think they had to go through all of this to ask giants to burn everything by themselves. When these god knights could have simply like infiltrated like they did and started fire. I understand giants would maybe try to obviously extinguish it when they notice it. Maybe that was the problem. They were worried like that the stronger giants will all come in and it will be like harder to pull off, and this way it's kind of easier. Okay, maybe that does make some sense, because you can see like the flames and the smoke from a bit away, so I think they might have been worried they won't be able to burn everything properly and will have to fight too many people. Maybe that makes sense. And yeah, he just shot a fire arrow to the upper building. Whoosh, ha ha ha. Now it's really burning. The library, shit. Will it really? I want to hope that library and school will survive. I feel like the school, it maybe doesn't have that much information. It's something they could theoretically rebuild. It's just a place where they learn. So the library is kind of the more important place to save, because that's where like, the books and everything is. Because the kids are out of the school, they're not inside the school, so it's like only the building will be burning. Yeah, as I said, that's something that you could just build again. The library, and Robin sees it from afar, and we see Saul also crying, still unable to move. It's not your fault, Chief Yarul. The words of our ancestors are. History itself is Yarul is crying about the library. Okay, I have to apologize to Yarul for the second chapter in a row, because like I kind of didn't trust him. I thought there's something suspicious about him. He has some kind of dark secret. Maybe that could still be true, but he actually cares a lot, at least about children and about the library, so that's commendable. This is Quillingham. Ignition is complete. Withdraw, child. Ronya is still standing there. She's, how much she must be feeling. She was like, no, I'm ready to take the plunge. I want library and the school to be saved, and now she knows. She might also even feel that this is kind of her fault that this is happening, which especially like as a kid, that would be very understandable. She would feel like, oh no, because of me everything is burning, everything is going to be burned. So that must be really hard to take. And now she's saying, I'm sorry, I'm super sorry for being alive. Holy shit, I'm having bad flashbacks. It's all my fault that everything is burning. I'm sorry. Yeah, just as I was saying. I mean, that makes total sense. Stop it, Ronya. That's not true, Ronya. And that is not true, but you can totally understand why she's feeling this way. I also didn't read out, there was a little frame of Gunka saying like, is it so hard to show a little joy? Maybe like surprised that Ronya is not happy that she doesn't have to jump down and die. And then when Ronya starts to apologize, I feel like this question mark also comes from Gunka. Like she cannot comprehend like why Ronya isn't being egotistical in this moment, which I think that could also be completely normal. Obviously, if you're like, oh, I don't have to die anymore, I will totally survive, it is also normal to feel happy about it. But Gunka, I feel like, wasn't expecting this kind of reaction, right? Culture, history, children, even military might. You lot have no right to take that away, Yavan is saying, running straight at Gunka. The Pirate King's crew? You don't know resisting means the hostages will die, right? Hey, it's Yazan. Okay, see, these children are still here. They are still walking somewhere. So before, a few pages ago, it was just a different batch of children. Because they also have, I feel like, different maybe school buildings even. Because God Knights were talking about that we could, just in case, like use other children if these children die. So obviously like there are more children in different places, and so these sleeping ones, it was just like in another place, backups, the ones that we met, are here still walking. Hey, it's Yasan! Kalon! Yasan is here, huh? He's come to rescue us! Don't give it away! He is thinking to himself, Gyaban is thinking to himself, Kalon, don't give it away? I think everyone already knows he came to save him, but maybe Kalon can say something, let's see, dead! I think maybe that's, like, because not everyone knows. God's Knights, they probably, like, Straw Hats do know that he is Kalon's dad, but maybe God's Knights didn't have this information. And so Gyaban understands, if God's Knights make the connection, it will be easier for them to know, so this is the kid that we can use somehow to get an upper hand in this. That's my dad, everybody. My dad is stronger than everyone else's. And again, like, you can completely understand why Kalon would be like, Dad, that's the most normal thing. Of course, he would say this. Like, what else is he going to say? This guy. Like, what do you expect? He'll save everybody. Hooray! Gyaban is... We don't see what Gyaban is thinking, but he's probably like, damn, he did give it away. So he immediately goes to the kids. But what does he do? Does he try to cut the arrow? It feels like arrow is taking damage, doesn't it? Let's see the next page. And obviously, yeah, Gunka immediately goes to Kalon. His face is so big in comparison to her. Get off me! Off you, if you insist. Oh, that's nice wordplay. Challenging me means only one thing, she's saying. And her arrow is pointing right to Kalon's neck. This is my last chance. If I act now, the fires can be put out. Gyaban is thinking. The kids can be rescued and Elbaf will be saved. It will have to be done in an instant. I think this is Gunka's words. Challenging me means only one thing. It will have to be done in an instant. So it seems like he has to kind of make the decision. He has to act now to save the children as a whole. He can't go directly for Kalon. Kalon, just give me 1 second. Hold on. You're a strong kid. Oh, dang it. Got it, Dad. I'm a warrior. Please defeat. Oh, gosh. The kids in Elbaf are really strong. Which is like they are living up, to this idea, right, of strong Elbaf warriors. Just bear with the wounds for now. I will save you, Gyaban is saying. So he's immediately thinking, oh, she's going to wound him, but he can take it. Gosh, that's horrible. A life taken cannot be returned, Gunka is saying. Kalon! Oh gosh, Gyaban is remembering how his child was born. He's our child, Yasan. He's such a big cutie. Thank you for giving him life, Ripley. This is a treasure of a lifetime. That is so sweet. He really, you can see he treasures his son a lot. Kalon, please be okay. Ripley is worried. Where she is right now? Like, she's not right here, right? So she's just... She's not here yet. I think she is someplace else, a bit far away, or maybe she can see them already from far away, because if she was close up, she would already try to go and save her son, I bet, like 100%. Oh, and Gunka starts cutting his neck, but she kind of does it slowly because she's hoping to distract Gyaban from something else. Isn't it like the same thing if Gyaban goes for her, for Gunka? He does save Kalon and the children and everything, or like the idea is that it is manipulation. If you go for me, then I will start cutting your kid, I guess. If I can stop her here, this tragedy will worsen. Oh my gosh, another double page. Let's go. I covered the left part. Let's start from here. Holy shit. She put this, I don't know how to call this weapon, like through the whole Kalon's neck. I think this already could be a deadly injury. I feel like if it wasn't one peace world, this could be already a deadly injury. I can take it, Kalon is saying, and Gyaban wavers, I think. He starts crying and says, please stop, I give up. That's really shitty because, like, yeah, if Kalon didn't give it out that he is Gyaban's son, it would have gone down easier. But you can't fault him for this because he's a little kid, he sees his dad who's coming to save him. It's only, he wouldn't think of all of this manipulation and stuff. It's only natural for him to call out and be like, oh, Dad, he's coming to save me. Oh, I'm sorry, Elbaf. Such a weak being, Gunka is saying. And this is an interesting frame here where there's no dialogue, where Gyaban is standing like this. You can see also Kalon's face in the background. I don't know, there's something like about it visually. Gyaban is, I think, thinking to himself, I'm sorry, Elbaf. This is like, I don't know, this is a really beautiful panel. Maybe I'm getting a bit stuck on this. At first I even thought these are two different panels because how they are divided by the arrow, but now I figured, oh no, it's kind of like the same panel, but also the way it's divided kind of shows the danger to Kalon because it kind of cuts him here with the arrow in a way visually. So yeah, that is pretty cool. Okay, let's go to the left part. Gunka is going to attack Gyaban himself, and she does with several arrows. What the I'm sorry, Kalon. It must have hurt real bad. I'm sorry. What the heck? I feel like, I don't know, she already put this thing through Kalon's neck. If he attacked at that moment, if Gyaban attacked at that moment, like, she wouldn't be able to give any more injuries at the second because he was already so close. Like, and this injury was already there. Like, you can't undo this one. So, I'm just like, okay. Daddy? Holy shit. Is it possible? Because I feel like Gyaban as kind of an old legend, as someone from, how to say it, almost like from this backstory, so to say, right? He could technically die. I feel like there's more chance for him to die, actually. Well, because I'm evidently blind, I didn't notice there is a small figure of Chopper jumping after Gyaban, because we saw that Chopper was running after him, and here we see a frame with Chopper, and then there's this small silhouette, and the thought like, yeah, and Chopper is kind of the perfect person to go after Gyaban because, well, he is a doctor, so yeah, I think Gyaban will definitely be okay. Another double page. It's so full of double pages, and it's the last page as well. Daddy, Yasan, and poor Kalon can't even like stop walking. He just continues walking. Daddy, their father. Wait, Gunka is having her own memories. There must be some. Wait. Let's read this. What is this memory? She doesn't. So these are suppressed memories. Yo ho 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 ho. What? Wait. You see, my dream is to be a pirate. But what is this crazy lore? She is a fan of Brook as a musician. But what if one of the reasons she's a fan of him is because he recognized her, and I was right, and I was like, he couldn't just recognize her because she was in a crowd when he was doing a concert. There is something about he knew her when he was still alive, when he wasn't a skeleton yet. He met Gunka as a little girl, because just like, look at this, yo-ho-ho, hair. He says his dream is to be a pirate. We see a sword, like there can be... Gosh. And... Wait, this is crazy. So when she was little, could she be... I think, like... She's probably not related to Brook. But you see, they're holding hands here. Could she actually be his daughter or something? He never talked about anything like this. And there's a lot of stories inside One Piece where the older figure isn't related to the kid but had a huge influence on their life. So there's very big possibility that this is the case. We can't say for sure, or maybe they were related. But the thing is, the first frame here shows her crying, "Father." And I think this is her in the past. She had longer hair. I feel like it is possible. I didn't even look to the left side of the page. Maybe there will be something more. But Gunka has some suppressed memories. Okay, let's finish the page maybe, and then we'll come back to this theory. They really do look alike. We've got to think of an escape plan. Wait, they really do look alike, that Brooke is saying. Brooke is looking at her and saying they really do look alike. Oh, my apologies. And then she's like, "Brooke, is that you, Brooke?" And she runs towards him. But some kind of like device inside her head activates. I think, again, like suppressing. So she remembers Brooke. And she remembers Brooke. She's calling him by his name. So yeah, I don't think it's like the father or anything. I feel like just someone who had an influence on her life. Still unclear, because if it was like she would say dead, not Brooke, right? She runs to him, clearly in this moment remembering these suppressed memories from her past. But then this thing, Cree, comes in, and I feel like this is something they use to manipulate her, to use her as a god knight. She doesn't remember anything about her past. She doesn't have any feelings, any compassion, because it's not because she like just born like this and just grew up like this. No, because she's being kind of almost programmed to be so. What is with all of this commotion? Great Emu? The Holy Land is currently in a sea of flames. What is with this person? Her face got all scary. Thus seems to require additional military force. Mu will show thee the dominion of God's advent. And sudden, what the heck is that? Wait, this got even crazier. What the heck? Like, is Emo talking through Gunka? Is she almost being like used as a vessel here? And also I assume that Mu will show thee. Mu means Emu, like shortened from Emu. That would mean like Mu is his name and E is something like an addition to the name, or maybe specifically Gunka's body as a vessel is called Mu and he's going to use it, like one of those, I suppose. She is not Emu. She's some little girl that had some connection to Brooke, possibly was his child, possibly not, but still admired Brooke a lot and spent a lot of time with him. Evidently, at some point, she did lose her father, whoever that was, judging from that panel, her screaming father. And this sound of Cologne screaming "Daddy" reminded her of this. And suddenly, she kind of snapped out of it, of this manipulation, and the memories that are suppressed inside her head, they came to the surface, because clearly Brooke recognizes her too, but he's not sure. You remind me of someone, because I bet when they last saw each other, she was much younger, she looked a little bit different. Right now she grew up, she has also this mask on her face and everything, so obviously not as recognizable, but clearly this is so, I don't know, like I was thinking, oh, Elbaf, this is like the arc of Usopp, but yeah, we know everything about kind of Usopp's backstory, but learning more about Brooke, I don't know, that kind of goes crazy. We got more Brooke lore, and I don't think I can get over it. I'm just ready to talk about this for years. But yeah, then, so something happened. Maybe, for example, actually God's Knights, or like someone from the world government, killed her family, her father at least, and then took her in. to train her as a god knight. And it seems to me she must have some connections to like the celestial dragons then, because it seems like all the gods knights, it's not just like they don't take them from the streets, it's someone with this royal blood, so to say, like celestial blood. For example, her mother was a celestial dragon, and her father was not, and then her father was killed. We don't know like about the mother. I'm also speculating about the father, of course. And she was pretty small, though she's crying father here, she's younger, so she was at least a teenager. But as she was taken in, because maybe she also had the potential, and basically the royal government decided to use her as a god knight, but to do so, her memories had to be suppressed. And there is some connection that Imu has. Some power he has over her. Maybe it's Imu's powers even suppressing her memories, because Imu can basically like go inside her head and see through her eyes. And now he's basically like talking through her, and Haki emanates of her. So does it mean when she's going to attack, it's also be like Imu attacking, Imu's power? It might be a bit nerfed because he's not in his own body. Do we even know the gender of Imu? Well, in any case, right? Imu is not in their body, so they might be a bit nerfed, but it seems like Imu can use at least Gunka's body. It is possible that body of another god's knight could also be used. Also, one more thing to note, Summers is clearly still alive, and I think he can survive and regenerate, because we see his reaction here, and he says ouch, and he's like all in this, his face is in these spikes. And the poor children are still going forward. Poor Kalon is crying, we don't know how Gyaban is doing. And this seems to require additional military force. So does this mean like Imu is like, okay, I will be this additional force and this is enough, I will make this happen? Or he wants to send more forces here, more people here? This is going to be a much big fight, war, conflict as a result. Holy shit, that chapter was wild. Like the lore drop in the end, Brook and Gunka, and I felt like from the very beginning when we saw Gunka, there were some hints that showed that it is possible that she could be in some gray area and actually come to our side. Just very, very subtle hints, but I thought it would just happen kind of by maybe like her not fully agreeing in her mind with everything that's happening and just keeping it to herself, but then coming to a boiling point and saying, no, I don't want to do this anymore, I'm actually going against God's Knight, something like, regular like this. I was kind of half expecting this, not necessarily, but I felt there was some groundwork like laid out for this, but this I didn't expect at all. When Brooke said she looks familiar, that was a bit like, what? But why? Like, where did they meet? Did he just see her at the concert? That was also some kind of hint that I wasn't sure what to make of. But now we have more info and how they're connected. But Brooke was a skeleton for so long. She must have met him when he was still a human. So, like, how old is she? How, like, is she like maybe not aging because of something from some point? Like, I'm not quite sure. She was shown really small. Well, okay, I think we will get more info on this later on in this arc, and there will be more on her and on Brooke, but dear, this is so exciting. Oh, please share your thoughts like on this. Well, another chapter as a whole. The chapter was insane. I really loved it. So many great panels. I'm not even sure like what is my favorite moment. Maybe after all, like this moment with Gunka, like this whole page with Gunka, because like what the heck, like Lord Drop, she looks so cool here when there's like Emu inside of her. That also frame with like everything previous double page also with Cologne and Kyaban. I don't know, the chapter goes so hard that it's really impossible to choose the favorite moment. They are all so good. But yeah, please share your favorite moment in the comments down below and your thoughts on the chapter and on Brooke and Gunka. This is just like completely insane. But yeah, I think that would be it for now. It would be it for today. So thank you for watching and see ya.